Okay, guys. Huh, this is kind of a strange video to make. Blizzard, I'm very proud of them. Battle for Azeroth is doing amazingly well. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. However, there are some bad things, but Blizzard are acknowledging these bad things. Like the inability to trade Azerite armor. That's a bad thing. And Blizzard acknowledges that. They're giving us a hot fix to fix it. Now, they listened to feedback, guys. Except for the fact that we were giving them this feedback in beta ever since they first changed it. We thought it was a bug, and they said, no, it's more fun this way. This way you don't have to stop rating to figure out if a trait's better for this person than that person. Trust me, you'll all love it. And then it came out and the general population got a hold of it and they're like, wait a minute, we can't get Azerite gear. What the fuck? And I imagine how a majority of them came to know it was little Jimmy was running a dungeon, right? He was running a heroic dungeon and a 325 piece of Azerite gear dropped. Well, he only has a 300 piece. And the piece didn't drop for him. It dropped for the tank. Tank's same class. He's like, hey, give me that gear. It's like, well, I would, but we can't trade Azerite gear. So then little Jimmy went to the forums. He's like, can't trade Azerite gear? What the fuck? And that's basically how that happened, right? I'm not seeing any like, no, that wouldn't have happened. So yeah, it's kind of the sad thing, right? Blizzard is making all of these changes that nobody really likes based on community perception. What I mean by this is if you look at the Azerite armor trading thing, that's community perceptions, basically a way to protect people from getting cheated because they don't understand Azerite traits. Then you look at the Master Looter change because, oh my god, ninjing was so rampant in Legion. It was so terrible. Ninjing happened all the time, despite ninja looting not being possible with the Legion system, simply because you needed a guild group to be able to use Master Looter, and a majority of guilds didn't want a chance being called fucking ninjas. By some fucking random pug. So a majority of those ninja stories are blown way out of proportion. The whole, oh, well, the trial showed up for the raid kill, so they deserve the loot just as much as you. You know, the guy that put in 200 plus wipes on this mythic boss, and this fucking trial came in and one-shot it. And it's like, no, they don't deserve it. They were a body. Without the trial, they would have still killed it. But without the main members, they'd have to relearn the fight. And oh god, the fucking trials that are like, oh my god, I was at a guild for a month and I didn't get any loot. I didn't get any loot. I was with them for like 3 raid nights. Bullshit, right? Why do people have to put so much emphasis on loot? When I first joined the Banana Republic, I did not like have any plans of getting loot anytime soon. You know what I did? I simply said, I'll bonus roll on bosses where I might need loot. Guess what happened? When we killed farm bosses, I got loot. Fucking Van, the dumbest motherfucking paladin that I've ever met, second dumbest player. Oh, I don't know, maybe top 5. Because fucking boned him and then some of the people from the other guild. Like he came in not as a trial, but the first time he was with us in Warlords of Draenor, his first raid, he literally got 5 pieces of gear, including his 4-piece. And the best in slot weapon, and the best in slot trinket. And then on the other hand, you'll get this one dude that joins when you don't really have a lot on farm and you're still gearing up a lot of people, and the loot system is in place. He understands the loot system, but then he complains when he doesn't get the loot, and he tries to say that you're cheating him, even though numbers show you're not cheating, and then bullshit happens. So like the master loot change was made because of community perception, not because ninja looting actually happened, but because the community was so convinced that the ninja looting situation from, say, back in Wrath of the Lich King hadn't changed, because a majority of them never really had to deal with master loot or ninja looting, because master loot became super rare because it was only in guild groups, and a majority of groups out there were basically pugs. In order to have a guild group, 80% of your fucking players had to be a part of your guild. So it was like 12 out of 15 had to be a part of your guild. No group was fucking doing that if you were running 15. 17 out of 20, yeah, no one was fucking doing that, right? So then you go into something else, and I hate this change, right? This change is fucking terrible. No gear swapping in Mythic Dungeons. No gear swapping in Mythic Dungeons. And this one it's because of community perception, but it's also because of stupidity. Because little Timmy will say that people being able to swap gear or having multiple sets of gear, it was stupid. It was idiotic. Oh my god, you don't need that. Despite the fact that one boss in a dungeon can have a really hard-hitting, unavoidable mechanic, whereas another boss won't have that. It'll have a bunch of adds. So you would switch from AoE to single target to survivability to burst or something like that. In fact, I myself had about 2 or 3 sets of gear, and I would switch between them regularly. I did not need to do that. I think the highest key that I did in Legion was probably a 13. I didn't really push high keys because by the time I felt comfortable enough to do it, I was incapable. So I really hate that change, because they're like, oh, well, this way people won't feel compelled to have multiple sets of gear. No, unless you look at Azerite armor. I already have 3 separate sets of Azerite armor for 1 spec. Yeah, thanks, Blizz. I have an AoE set, a single target set, and a burst set. However, the whole survivability thing with Mythic Plus is kind of offset by the fact that you get an absorb shield in one of the tiers. Don't know how that's going to work out, but we also have trinkets that, like, they wildly change. I think Blizzard just didn't understand this when they were listening to the community that was just fucking retarded. But those are some of the changes. I hate the GCD change, but with how much haste we're fucking getting so quickly, it's not affecting me as a Windwalker. However, I understand how haste will affect other classes. In fact, assassination rogues can't really fucking play and feel good about it. So I'm sorry about that. Hopefully they change it. However, them lifting the restriction on trading Azerite gear, it could be one of 2 things. Either one, they're admitting their mistake, and they're doing it in a Blizz way, so it's not going to be like, oh yeah, no, we fucked up. It's going to be like, well, yeah, see what we did for you guys? Yeah, you should love us. Or they're doing it, be like, you know what, guys, you want this? Okay, we'll give you this. Wait, you wanted this? But didn't you want us to change it? Okay, we'll change it. Just saying, though, you wanted it. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get Master Looter back once raids open, and once it goes out for a while, and then a majority of the player base can bitch and moan and complain until Blizzard changes it. The gear swapping in Mythic Plus probably won't be too much of a thing until people go into a fortified boss without heavy damage. And yeah. So I'm just hoping that things get changed back. If they don't, I'm not going to quit. Those 3 problems that I listed, 4 if you include the GCD change, they're literally the only bad thing that I can say about BFA right now. The sheer amount of quests that are in Stormsong Valley kind of killed me. I still haven't unlocked Pride of Kultiris because I spent so much time doing those quests, half of which weren't even fucking required, by the way. So there's that. I love the dungeons. I get a lot of lag late at night because of my ISP, which sucks for the Temple of Sithralik or something. So there's that. I literally can't make it through the lightning maze. I got kicked because of it, which I was okay with. And then some dungeons have too much trash, but overall I like the dungeon design, I like the weapon design. The weapons need to drop more. I like BFA, man. I'm glad that it's doing well. I can't wait to see what we have in store.